I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning, careless fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
All right, so we're at AFCA, and Trevor, who's been on the podcast numerous times, always love having you on.
Like to be there, man.
Came over and said, I got an idea. We're just going to ask people what happened. I think that's a great question, right? And you'll see with some of the things we're going to show what we capture here. I mean, it's just a glimpse. These are short ones. You are going to do some deeper dives, but tell me why this is such an important question.
Well, you know what? Number one, coaches love entertainment, man. And our season can be entertaining in the good way, and it can be entertaining in the bad way. And a lot of times you want to know just what happened. Don't give me the fluff. Don't give me the, we played a great game, and save all that for ESPN and NFL Network. What we doing here, I want to know what really happened. If you lost because that guy got hurt, tell me about it. And then tell me what you didn't do as a coach to prepare yourself. Because we can always make excuses. But look, excuses, they ain't gonna get you nowhere. And in this business, you either elevate or terminate. So you gotta figure it out so you can be on the positive side. So what we doing here and what happened is just that. Tell me what happened, man.
Exactly. I think some of the best things most of these clips we did here at AFCA are 3 minutes long, but it was really about getting those guys to look at themselves and as a coach, take accountability. Because it's easy to say, well, we had a young guy here, or we lost this guy to injury. And, what I liked about it is that wasn't a good enough answer for you.
And it's not. And it's really not enough answer. Because as you know, at the end of the day, when Friday night comes, especially in the high school world, or Saturday night comes, the people want results. They don't care if the player's hurt. They don't care if you're young. They don't care if your quarterback didn't do his homework. They don't care about any of that. They care about what happened on the field. So a lot of times the coaches, we want to lean on these things. These are what pacify our answers. Oh, well, we were young. Well, guess what? Everybody was young at one point. You were young at one point. Oh, well, we had injury. Listen, I'm over 40. I hurt every day. Oh, well, this kid wasn't at my school. What did you do as a coach to bring them up? And when we find those deficiencies, this is where we can a great tie into the coaching coordinator, where there's assets and tools and resources to help you get over that hump. Well, you got a place like a modern football that can help you figure out the right place. So we starting off, it may start off comical, but we getting down to the meat and potatoes of what's helping you become a better coach.
It's exactly that. It reminds me, we were able to sit down years ago with Brian Hartline, now the head coach at South Florida, and he talked about, and he had learned it from Darrell Hazel, who was he was head coach at Purdue for a little bit, spent a lot of time at Ohio State. And Darrell always used to talk about, and even had a presentation I remember seeing, make sure your A players get A's. And it was just extreme ownership, the way Brian talked about it. Like, hey, if my guys came out and didn't stretch the right way, that's on me, because I either didn't coach them the right way or I wasn't holding them accountable. And, I think that's it. When we look at it as coaches, if we can remove some of those things and excuses and really reflect on, what do I own in this? The player certainly has to own some of it too, but what is it I own? I always have to be looking at myself first, I think, before I start digging into issues with the player.
It's dead on, because the players are going to be the players. But, basically what we want to do here, let's take the makeup off, man. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what can we do better? Now, if you are doing everything that you can to put your team in the right position and you don't have the Jimmys and Joes, then that's something else that you got to realize. But I guarantee you, every time you think you went harder, you can go some more. Every time you think you watched enough film, guess what? There's more film that you can watch. There's always more that you can do, and we want to be able to highlight that. And it ain't about embarrassing nobody. It's not about talking about what you didn't do right, because we all can be better. Last time I didn't win state this year, so the season was not a success for me. And if you didn't, only one team can do it in every state, every classification. So there's a lot of guys who didn't reach that goal, and we want to find out why, and we want to know. What happened?
Exactly. Well, I'm going to flip it around on you.
Talk to me.
Because you were at American Canyon, won a state championship. You wanted a more of a personal challenge for yourself, decided to make the move to Pine Creek in Colorado. You didn't win the state championship this year, so what happened?
Listen, that's a great question. I'm still watching film trying to figure out what happened, because I did everything I was supposed to, but you know what? No, on a serious note, what happened was I didn't prepare my team well enough to achieve the things we needed to do. We didn't put them in the right position to stop some of the big plays that we wanted to stop. We didn't put in the system that we needed to make sure we fit our personnel. Yes, we had some success. 7 wins, great. I listen, state or bust. So guess what? That means I got to do a better job as a coach, and I got to be able to own it. I got to own not only myself, is my position coaches the right coaches for the position? Do I have the right coordinators? What are we missing on to do those things? Yes. Did we have injuries? Yep, sure did. Did we have situations? Yep. Were we young? We sure were. But nobody cares about that. They care about the final result, and the final result is we didn't win, and that's just not good enough for me.
Yeah, explanations will get you fired.
Yeah, and man, every time, because you're gonna end up saying something you ain't supposed to.
That's right. So what's the plan? How are you from your seat with what you do as a head coach with all those things you mentioned? How are you going to fix it?
Well, the first thing I do is I do a self-evaluation. I have to sit down and ask myself, okay, Trevor, what did you do? How did you guide this ship? Where could you have steered it differently? Now, after I look at that, then I have to look at my coaches. Do I have the right personnel reaching the kids the right way? Are the kids responding? You can be a phenomenal coach, but if there's no connection between you and player, then you're phenomenally not the right person for the job. And that doesn't mean that you're a bad guy. That just means you may not necessarily be a fit. And thirdly, how do I prepare my team to be better so we don't have so many soft tissue injuries, so we have the wind and the capability and the strength to keep going? Well, we got to train differently. Some of the things we did, I got a new strength and conditioning coach. We're looking at some different coordinators. We're trying to change some things and put ourselves in the right direction. But at the same time, as the head coach, you got to be willing to say, at the end of the day, if that don't work, you can't stop looking for that next answer, because we will win at Pine Creek, and we will win very soon. And that's just my mindset.
Yeah. What I love about this in some of the answers that came up is, you have one guy even say, well, it was about what happened. He's like, well, there's the question.
There you go.
Other guys just talking about and being able to identify, we know it was situational football. But, I think what you did well in the short time you were with these guys was get them to pry a little bit deeper. And that's what you'll do. I think we're going to air some of these short clips here on the podcast. You are going to do some deep dives with coaches.
Sir.
So
yes, sir.
What you hear today along with this is just a glimpse of some of the things. And certainly, I think you took a great approach to it.
You got to have fun with it, man.
Yeah, but you also got them to that point of
point.
vulnerability, right? And I think that's important for us as coaches is if we're going to get better, we do need to be a little bit vulnerable, especially in evaluating ourselves and take responsibility for it. And I think that's the whole point of what happened.
That's the first step. And finding out what happened is you got to realize, what did you do in that process? Take your ownership. And what I think was going to be organic is when we get those deeper dives, it's like 60 Minutes with Diane Sawyer, man. We're gonna really get into the emotional piece of what happened, Coach. But really, on a serious note, taking that ownership, and because you can't fix something until you admit that there's something to be fixed. And that's what we want to do for these coaches.
Yeah, and you pointed to exactly what we're doing at Coaching Coordinator Network. Whether you want to come through the podcast and hear more coaches talk about those things, obviously we've done thousands of podcasts over the years. We've had great coaches on. We'll continue to do that. Our roundtables, our think tanks. We have a lot of coaches we're bringing onto the network who have, their own content that we certainly have vetted and we believe in. We have a lot of companies that we believe in too who can help in the process. One of those being Modern Football, who I know you work with.
Man, listen, the coach's coordinator is we Saxon Fifth Ave, okay? Top of the line. No, but it's just, what I mean by that is just everything that you can need can be there, and it can give you those resources, because every coach thinks they have the best ideas. Yeah. Every coach thinks, this play is going to be great because I made this play up. Listen, everything is copied and duplicated.
Yeah.
Find some people who've been where you've been. Your story isn't unique. We had an injured season. I can give you 1,000 coaches who dealt with that. My kid transferred. Depending on what state you're in, that happens every single day. But it's not about what happened to you. It's about what do you do to get better from it, so you can make yourself the best coach.
Yeah, and we have been able to go out and find some of the best companies that are going to help you too. Right behind me, as we're doing this, one of our partners, Tully.app. If you are getting into your off season right now, what they can give you in the weight room to really understand what's going on and have a more efficient, really along the way, getting your players to where you need. Definitely check out Tully.app. And as I mentioned, a big partner for us, somebody who you work with, Modern Football, and I think Modern Football, you can use it now. Go back on your season, dig into that. You can use it in game. We have the position analytics, we have practice analytics, all things that are about development.
And I think that's one of the missing pieces that people that they overlook from Modern Football. They think about in-game, which we can do in-game. But right now is where you get better, when you're not in game. And now you have the time to extract all that data, put it in, and you can really get a real-life look at man, maybe I'm calling 14 power way too many times. Maybe we're running this blitz. It's not effective for us. To be able to have that true self-scout is something that's amazing. Now, and you mentioned Tully. Listen, the coaches, listen to me. If you don't lift, you don't win. So listen, if you want to win, you got to get right. People over at Tully going to help you get stronger. Bigger, faster, stronger has been the name of the game since the beginning of the game. I mean, you got other great companies like the Headset app. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. All you got to do, come on over and see what we got going for you, man. And then we can find out what happened to you.
It's great into it. We'll leave it there.
My man. Welcome to What Happened. I'm your host, Coach Hudson, and we are here with
Coach Kirk Brooks, linebackers coach.
linebackers coach at what school?
Mount St. Joseph High School in Baltimore, Maryland.
Listen, man, playing linebackers got to be hard, but playing linebacker in Baltimore, y'all getting it done. So, Coach, how did the season go?
The season, I mean, it didn't go like you want when you don't finish number one with the trophy.
Facts.
It didn't finish like you wanted it to.
Now, see how he's giving us the good answer, but we want to get to the. What was the numbers, Coach? How did we finish? Were we 8-2, 7-3? Talk to me.
It was 6-4.
6-4.
Yeah.
Coach, so 4 teams got the best of you. We want to know what happened.
What happened? We got outplayed. No, I was just kidding.
And sometimes that happens.
No. It was explosive plays. I think got us. Not making enough, giving up a few too many. Just one of them things. So you say some days the bear gets you, some days you get the bear.
Listen, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Right.
So sometimes they got you on that side. So you talk about explosive plays. Every coach, every offensive coordinator, he lives off explosive plays. What do you guys plan on doing to prevent those things from happening to you next season?
Really learning from, not making the same mistake twice, right? So we are really into, especially at this point and going forward, we're going to start off just heavy into the film, heavy into things that, like what happened? I like that you said it.
Bam.
What happened?
Y'all saw that's organic, baby. He just said it. What happened?
What happened? So it's like getting into that film from last year to number one, make the mental corrections that we made in situations this year. Use the springtime to put ourselves back and recreate some of those situations so that we can get repetition and understanding our job and what we could do differently. So basically figuring out what it is that we're going to do differently, actually repping what we're going to do differently in those situations to prevent those explosive plays.
Now, see, you made some good points about getting into the spring and getting those times. A lot of times coaches want to get to the spring and worry about doing something new. Everybody's so quick to go into the new season, but I like how you're trying to say we're going to learn from what we just went through to not to put us in that same situation. So listen, we have a good spring. We go through those plays. The people want to know what the record going to be, man. Listen, let's talk about it. Next year, we will finish.
Hey, listen, my college coach used to say to the seniors, hey, I can guarantee you 10, the rest is on you. We go 10-0, that means we got to go 12-0. We go 10-0, we go 12-0, you the champ. We going 12-0.
Well, listen, y'all heard it fine. We're going to find out, because we're going to follow up next year to find out what happened.
Hey, whether it's here, whether it's Nashville, whether it's San Antonio, I don't care where it's at, I'm going to find you.
And we have a guest, listen, here at the AFCA Conference. Coach, who we got here today?
Caleb Coral, offensive coordinator, Georgetown College.
Listen, offensive coordinator, he's dialing it up, putting in points, making people happy, man. Coach, how did the season go?
It was good. First year there for me, so a lot of learning the program, the new kids, getting a system put in, progress to where we play our best ball at the end, which is usually a good sign.
Yes.
7-3, which the best thing about Georgetown College, 7-3 ain't no good at Georgetown College. So we back in the lab and trying to get it right. But a good year overall.
Listen, 7-3, most people would celebrate.
Yep.
Some people keep their jobs at 7-3, but apparently at Georgetown College, he better tighten up. So, Coach, how do we do offensively?
Yeah, so we were good. We improved a lot of the metrics from the year before. Points per game, yards per carry, the key stuff that we're looking at. But we got to be better on situational. Third down, red zone, we got to be better. Stay on the field, finish the drives with scores.
Gotcha.
We kicked a lot of field goals, so we got to get 7 instead of 3. That's kind of our focus.
Listen, man, 7 points always ways better than 3. So, how many points were you guys averaging a game?
Yeah, we were at 31 this year. We improved it from 24.
Coach, 31, you don't listen. And the natural attrition or goal is to have 7 points a quarter, so you've topped that.
Yep.
But those 3 games you lost, what happened in those games, Coach?
Yeah, I honestly put it on myself. I think we, overplanned. I think as coaches, a lot of times it's putting too much in, trying to win with your brain instead of what the kids feel best with. And so what we did at the end of the year was we cut it down to the base. We got really comfortable. Instead of running a lot of plays, we ran fewer plays out of more ways, and that was the big focus.
Listen, to be great at something and to be good at everything, that's a good way to kind of get the offense going. And, a modern football is another good way.
Amen.
Plug, to figure out how we can get that going and get stuff going. So 31 points a game. The last 3 games, you said you want to keep it simplified. So go as an offensive coordinator, what do you do going into next season to help get you guys over that hump so we can get to that illustrious 10-0 season?
Yep, so basically what we're doing is breaking down our stuff, understanding what we were good at, why were we good at it, how can we continue to enhance it, what tree limbs need to come off of those things to protect them. And then we're always going to study top in the business. We like to study the Rams. We're going to study North Texas, Ole Miss, and a few others just to see if we can complement our system, not change it. And really just how can we teach it better? Can we teach it more streamlined? Can we be better for the kids to understand what our process is? And so I think with that 3-pronged approach that we'll be cleaner, we'll be more aware of what the system is, and I think we'll be able to win in situational instances to help us get over the hump.
Listen, what I love about it the most is he's taking accountability. He's saying, this is what I can do better. Never once did he blame the kids. He didn't blame anything. He said, hey, here's what we can do better. And now we know what happened. We are here for another episode of What Happened. And we have with us Coach
Chad Nolan. I'm from Midland University.
Coach Nolan from Midland University. Coach, how's the conference been going for you so far?
It's been good, man. Finished year 2 this year. Record was up from last year. We were 6-4 in the conference. Probably the best conference in NAIA football. 1 or 2 more wins would have probably got us into the playoff. We had a 1-point loss, a 3-point loss, a double overtime 6-point loss in there. So we were 1-4 in those 1-score games, and 1-score games are really gonna kind of how you do in those games are really gonna determine the outcome of the season. So as far as our head coach, he ranking wise, we had his best rank. He's been there 10 years. This was the highest he's been ranked in the Massey, in the offense defense. So we had a new offensive coordinator this year. He's doing great things. I coached the safeties. Our defense had a great year. We had 18 interceptions, 14 from my safety room. We led the conference in interceptions, and we were tied fifth nationally in the NAIA. Also added 11 fumble recoveries to that, so 29 total turnovers. That was first in the conference and tied for second in the nation. Shout out Coach Denny Honnold, our defensive coordinator. Did a great job. We run the 3-3 stack defense there at Midland with 3 high safeties, 3 down linemen. So it's kind of the new cutting stuff in college football, and did a great job with it this year. So yeah,
man, talk your shit, Coach. Listen, y'all heard them numbers, man. Turnovers. But Coach, you were so close in those close games. Wasn't able to get over the top. Straight to the point, man. Coach, what happened? What happened to stop y'all from making that happen?
Yeah, I just think a little bit of execution, a little consistency, and we had multiple opportunities. Sometimes, like the one game we lose by 3, we missed 2 kicks, and then we had 2 plays from the 1-yard line, just not putting it together, all the way. Football's a 4-quarter game, and we see comebacks happen all the time, and you got to play all the way through the last second. But I think just a little stuff we got to fix up execution wise. But other than that, sometimes football sometimes it just doesn't roll your way.
Well,
you got to roll with it and keep pushing forward.
100%. You mentioned how the defensive coordinator and your coaches has been there for so long, so you guys have that stability. And I believe you actually mentioned in the beginning of the season this year was better than the season before. It seems like you guys are going in the right direction.
Yes, sir.
What do you feel to be some of the final pieces y'all need to make sure y'all making that next step?
Yeah, I would say, recruiting's huge. Recruiting is going to be that blood life of any program. So making sure that, we're getting the best talent. You can develop guys and make them better. You can have great scheme, but just having better players at the end of the day is great. So recruiting and then just keeping developing. I do all the strength and speed stuff there. So as far as getting guys fast, we did a great job in year 1 increasing team speed. Did a great job with injury reductions this year. Didn't have a lot of soft tissue stuff. We didn't have guys missing games because of a hammy or stuff like that. So that keeping that going, keep developing the speed. Keep recruiting at a high level, and then just keep fixing our scheme in the best ways we can, week to week and game planning.
Listen, people at home, I'm sorry for Rudavelli just walked through the camera shot, but Coach, that's good stuff. It sounds like y'all are on the right path. Listen, we love to have that. We love to see what's going on, and now we know what happened at Midland. Yeah. So now that you know, let's find out who we got next. Coach, thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we are live here at the AFCA Conference, and we're having a podcast where we're talking about what happened to coaches and what happened in the football season. We're here with Coach
Irvin.
Coach, where you coach at?
Montreal Alouettes.
Montreal? Hey, that's the Canadian League, yeah?
CFL. Shout out to the CFL.
CFL in the building. See, listen, at AFCA, you never know who you're going to run into. First off, Coach, how is it up there in Canada?
Cold.
Is it colder than here right now?
Oh, very. Yes.
Listen.
But it's nice, though. Beautiful country. I'm grateful.
Grateful for the opportunity. So how did the season go this year, Coach?
We lost in the Grey Cup to Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So
that's tough, yeah.
y'all was on some brandy. Almost doesn't count. Ooh. So, Coach, what happened in that game where you felt like you guys couldn't get over the top?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I would just say we could have been better on first down as a defense. Being better, on first and 10 as a defense.
Most people don't look at that. They think of the outcome, the turnovers, but you kind of went down to a molecular level because first down is the down that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the series and what you do and what you call. So the question would be is for next year, because I'm pretty sure you guys plan on returning and having a great season and going to get that Grey Cup. What do you guys have to do better to dominate and win on first down?
I would say when the missed opportunity presents themselves,
yes, sir,
take advantage of it. Make the offense turn over the ball, be stout at the point of attack on first down and hit blocks.
Listen, who needs a clinic? He just gave it to you right there, Coach. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
As you wrap up this episode, I want to challenge you with this. Don't just take notes. Don't just nod along. Apply it. This conversation, like every episode inside the Coaching Coordinator Network, doesn't end when the episode ends. If this topic sparked ideas, questions, or challenges in your own program, head into the AI companion connected to this episode. Use it to revisit concepts, get clarity, and map what you heard today to your specific player, staff, and situation. And if you're ready for deeper learning, our Smart Clinics are opening this week, designed to give you structure, progression, and support beyond a single talk or presentation. Coaching Coordinator is no longer just something you listen to, it's something you use. Thanks for being part of the network, and we'll see you in the next episode.